Hey guys, I just put ah, my eye drop in and it's burning. Okay, I'll be right back as that takes effect. Momento. Write my name in the city. Saying. Why do they make shirts so low? I don't want it to be that low. Why? Do I just have a short this from here to here? What's going on? Okay, dopish, smokish. Let's get it going. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh gosh, if you are watching on the replay, I got here even earlier than usual. So now we're about 7 minutes early, so you can fast forward us. Forgot to comb my eyebrows. You can fast forward us. Also, I need I need some sort of undershirt that comes up higher. This is not comfy for me. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Use the shirt to cover them up. I can just turn the screen up. Hey, Janet, I don't see your video yet, but that's totally fine. I just wanted you to know that I saw that you logged in. Hi. Ooh, your lighting looks so good. Nice, nice. Let's see, let me unmute you so I can hear you.
Oh,
I think
I took your advice and did it against the wall, so it's like not right. It helps also with my being in front of the camera all day long.
no joke. Yeah, it looks really good. It's like noticeable. It looks so good. And your hair color looks so good. Killing it. I'm looking for something to put my hair up with because it's pulling on me. Give me.
All right, I'm gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okie dokie. Ow. All right. I'm gonna refill the water. Okay.
Yeah, sorry I didn't send any questions in. I was been distracted. It's like I get into one thing and it's like squirrel. Yes. So it's
Yeah.
and I found
Yeah.
myself doing that as I'm preparing, my notebook of awesome is oh, I gotta do this, oh, I gotta do this, and then I'm down this squirrel, this rabbit hole, and then
I can't relate any harder.
Mhm. Yes. Same.
I think it's like entrepreneur brain. Like it's a blessing and a curse. It's the brain that's like, yes, 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 let's do it. And then also you're like, what the fuck did I just do for the last hour? Yep. I just told my husband last night we're cooking dinner and I was like, I just got so much done today. And then I said, but I didn't get either of the two things done that I said I needed to get done today. Yeah, I completely relate.
I'm
So if
trying
you were,
to- oh,
go ahead, go ahead.
I was trying to change my, the name of my website from my business name to my actual name.
Mhm.
And I kind of got lost in the Google DNS, how to link it to my GoDaddy website. So
Are you on
I'm-
Squarespace? Is that your website, Squarespace?
no, it's on GoDaddy,
Okay, okay,
but then I bought my domain name Janet Zaborowski through G Suite, Google Workspace.
Okay.
So
it's unlikely I can log into mine right now, but I'm gonna just try real quick. Did you get it done or do you need help getting it done?
I might need some help getting it
All right.
done. So if that's a
Let me
thing
just see. That's not the button I wanted to hit. Let me just see super fast. If I can show you super fast. I'm on Squarespace, not GoDaddy, but my guess is it's a very similar process. Squarespace login.
I found
I'm-
out how to, I got the DNS and I tried to plug it in over there, but it wouldn't take it. It says it's not
Okay. Okay. Let's just see what happens real fast. And I'll share my screen just as soon as I get in there. Okay.
sorry. I just kind of hijacked everything.
All right. I'm gonna look. I'm not gonna spend more than 2 minutes on this because if it's easy, cool. If it's not, So this is the back end of my website. And under settings, under domains, and then I can add as many domains as I want. So if somebody typed in the Online Therapist Academy, they're going to land on this page. So you just use a domain I own, enter in the domain. I know it looks different because we're on different websites, but just in case it's as simple as that for you, I just wanted to show you here. So that's all I do. And then I have bought way too many and added way too many, but it was a just in case, like, I don't want somebody else grabbing this, so I'm going to grab it. Okay. And you can have multiple domains pointing to your website. So you still keep your old domain and add a new one. That way, people could look under your business name, they could look under your personal name, and it's still going to work.
Okay.
Okay. So we're in week freaking 4 of the course, which seems impossible, but it's true. So I want to give you a couple pointers today. This is like the midpoint, and right now is when energy starts to wane and when overwhelm starts to increase. And it's hilarious, Janet, that you would be bringing up the ADHD brain kind of thing today, because that was part of the tip that I wanted to give you. And man, do I relate. So I want to show you 2 tools that I use that really help me to stay the F on track with what I need to get done. And then any other stuff that I get done is gravy, actually 3 tools. Do you like, I'm asking all of you, enjoy your breakfast bread, Licia. Do you prefer to have a digital kind of organization system for your to-dos and your planning, or do you prefer paper? Let me know. You can just turn on your mic and let me know. We don't need to chat it out, or do whatever you want to do. Okay, Rachel's paper or both?
Me too, kind of, because I've been kind of forced to do electronic, but I like paper.
Okay, so I'm going to show you the paper version, and I'll give you the link as well. And then I'll show you a digital alternative that works very, very similarly. So you can choose whichever one's going to work. There's a bajillion planners. I don't struggle with like, what the hell am I going to, every day, I have my Google Calendar, so I know what I'm supposed to be doing. That's not what I need a planner for. I need it more like getting projects done, you know, the longer term things like what you guys are doing. So one of the many, many, many tools you can use is this Productive Weeks. I'll link you to it in Amazon. And I use it a little bit differently than it's probably intended. So at the bottom of every page, I will list what week it is in the year, because I plan by quarters, because this brain does not like thinking year long. It becomes too big. And then every week, I'll show you a new week. Every week, I give myself 1 to 3 major tasks here that are going to move the needle forward in my business. And I will actually write them out for 15 weeks in advance for the whole freaking quarter. Uh-oh, we lost Rachel. Where you go, girl? You wait, are you still here? I think you're maybe still here, but your camera's off. Okay, good. I write all the things out so that I can have in order in my head, like what needs to be done. Like, you know, if I were in your shoes, you guys, the first week might be like, get my EIN. The second week might be set up my bank accounts. Third week might be get all my domains pointed to my website, right? Nice. It comes in a nice box, doesn't it? Still a little bit dealing with the coughing. So, and I write it in pencil because shit changes and that's fine. So write out like, all right, if I'm going to tackle all the major things in this course, what weeks am I going to tackle it in? And write it out for the whole freaking quarter. Really, it's going to take more than 8 weeks if you're doing all the things. So write it out for the whole quarter, like this week. And here's a trick. Do not give yourself more than 1 to 3 max of course related to-dos or business related to-dos, because the reality is you have a life outside of this course and there's a bunch of shit that you have to do in your regular life that's going to take up those other spots. Then what I also love about it is the habit tracker. And rather than habit tracker, I use it as a ritual guide because I know the recipe that I need in my daily life to actually get shit done. The habit tracker is just gonna make me feel like shit because I'm really not gonna go to the gym when I want to go to the gym. So instead I make it a ritual. I don't even want to say tracker. So the rituals for me are when I wake up in the morning, I love a slow morning. I love journaling and like chilling. And if I don't get up at some point and make the bed and get going, it can just become a slow day. And then I'm like chilling in bed all day and it goes from feeling like rejuvenating to feeling like a slug. So I know that like when I get up to be, because I'm going to have to, then I need to make the bed while I'm up. And making the bed triggers other things in me. It triggers like, oh, go get a glass of water. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And those rituals get me moving. So my rituals are like make the bed, pick up the bedroom a little bit, do a kindness for my husband, walk Bella, get outside. Just those triggers that tend to send me into a more productive mood. So they're not like, this makes me a good person kind of triggers. It's what puts me in the mood. So I'll have like, listen to such and such playlist or watch so-and-so's YouTube videos because they get me in the mood for work. So that's what I put there. And then last piece, I swear, for your days, I will put in anything that I have scheduled in that day so that I can be realistic about, am I really going to have the energy to do any of the other things on my list? Because if I have 5 hours of stuff scheduled, probably nothing else on my list is getting done. So I can just give myself that grace and be like, okay, it's not going to happen on Monday or Wednesday. You need to be looking later on in the week. Make sense? Good. Okay. Let me show you the digital version. Fredlicia, did you have a question or you just pop it on? Okay. Okay. The digital version that I love the most is a paid product. Sorry. But it's not expensive in my memory. Doesn't mean it's not in real life, but I think it's not. And I'll show you how I might set it up if I am trying to use it in the same way. So this is called To Do, and it's spelled in a weird way just to make it hard to Google. Is it showing? Let me make sure it's showing you the screen. It wants me to drag it over here. Okay. So it's set up so that you have your days across the top, just like we have our days across the bottom in the productivity paper thing. And then down here, you can write whatever the hell you want. So for me, what works is, are you guys not seeing it? Oh, well, that's silly. Let's try it again. I've got that stupid Miley Cyrus song stuck in my head. Cannot stop.
Which one?
Right. I can buy myself flowers.
I
That
love
one. All right, are y'all seeing it now? Yes, okay, good. So it has your days across the top. And I put in my rituals for the day, walk Bella, physical activity, blah, blah, blah. You can drag and drop them. So we know that I'm not walking Bella until the afternoon. I can put that here. I'm probably not gonna do this. And move that over here. So you can drag and drop stuff around. I did that one. So yay, good job. Did that one. Yay, good job. That's probably going to be tomorrow. We're going to move that over here. I would love to get this done this afternoon today. We know that the physical activity is not going to happen, but we're going to leave it on there anyway. So you can pop in your to-dos. And what I would do for you guys to keep it kind of the same, I might, let me think about this. Yeah, I think what I might do, I'm going to just mess with mine so you can see. I'm going to rename this. And I would say month 1, January. And then let me find there's a pro tip here that I want. I don't want it to recur. I want it to bold. All right. Asterisk, asterisk is how we bold things. Then I would put in here week 1. And I love this program. It's so nice. Isn't that pretty? Week 2. And I would do that for all the weeks of the, oops, my bad. All the weeks of that month. OCD really wants them to look exactly the same. We're going to let that go for right now. And then you can drag and drop underneath each week, like, okay, what is it that I'm attacking that week? Month 1. And then you would do month 2, month 3. And there's your freaking quarter. Your quarter's done. You can go into the next quarter if you want to. So tell me what feelings come up for you as we go through those 2 potential systems, trying to like just let's get all the things planned that we're going to accomplish. And that way, when we sit down to work, we're not like, okay, I've got like 80 million things in my head that I could be working on. I'll just do whatever's easiest, or I'll do whatever feels right instead of what's actually going to move the needle. Some people love this sort of planning and some people hate it. So tell me honestly, how does it feel for you? You can speak.
I love the idea of being able to check things off. That gives me a sense of accomplishment. It's like, check.
And imagine if you're like checking them off a week or 2 ahead of time. You know, you like did your thing for the week and you're like, I'll just go ahead and do this thing too. Bam, I'm ahead of schedule. What about others? Because we all have different ways that our brains work and we can adapt to meet your brain's needs. So tell me what comes up.
I was going to say, I actually feel relieved because getting the personal stuff done was the stuff that was not getting done. So it was all work and all business and all course. And then just one day last week, I was like, you know what? I really need to run some errands for myself. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So to just have like the 3 things, because I think at the beginning of Step by Step, it was literally just kind of going step by step. But now that I'm in the paperwork part, it's like I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, what needs to happen first? And like, this doesn't feel like a quick check, like get an EIN or, you know, whatever. So I actually feel relieved about the 3. That's what I'm holding on to, like the 3 things that you want to get done that week. It's really helpful.
1 to 3. Hear how your
1 to
brain
3.
just attached to 1 to 3.
My brain's like 3.
And probably our brains will be like, get paperwork done, even though, you know, like that's like 14 things. It's a lot of things. Yeah. Good.
I'm
glad-
kind of following Lisa's. I see my patients. I, try to have some free time during the afternoon, and that gets bogged down with squirrel kind of thing. But then I am at like 1:30 at night. Like, I updated my Psychology Today profile. I then recorded a voicemail message for myself because I realized I just used like the default on like the phone, but realizing, oh, I need to get RingCentral. But like between 12 and 3, I feel like I'm most productive 12 and 3 in the morning, but then I still see patients starting at like 9 or 10 sometimes during the day. So it's kind of finding the balance, but yeah, the 1 to 3 per week. Like, I still feel like I'm behind everyone because I don't have a website and I don't have a ton of copy for my website. So I feel like so much pressure that I have to get that up and running because like I plan to be private pay for my couples and not necessarily insurance, but I do have Headway billing for insurance, which I don't mind, but you can't put all that on Psychology Today. Right? You can't say, hey, for insurance check here, these are the only insurances I'm taking, so I still feel like I'm way behind everybody else.
Well, I don't know if this will make you feel better, but not most, a good chunk of people do step-by-step to set up the business. And then they do the marketing intensive for all the marketing. So that you're doing any marketing at all is a freaking win. And I like it. I'm a big fan because I want you to get clients in the door as quickly as possible.
Wow. And I had my annual female appointment today, and I happened to have business cards in my purse. And I was talking to her and she's like, oh, are you back for good? Because I would see her once a year when I came back from Japan. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm starting my own business. And I was just talking to her. She goes, oh, we need people. So I gave her like all the business cards I had in my purse. So we'll see if anything comes about it. But
all right, a little pro tip while we're talking about that appointment. In every doctor appointment I go to, including my GYN, I am talking about my business in a roundabout way. So the way that it usually goes is something like let's say I go to the dentist. I'm not afraid of the dentist. I enjoy it. It feels like spa treatment to me. So I go in and I'm like, I know a lot of people get really nervous at the dentist. How do y'all handle that? And they're cleaning my teeth and they're telling me all this marketing information. They're telling me like, yeah, they totally freak out. Some of our people are better at it. Some of our people are impatient about it. Some of our staff, some of them come in and like, they're listening to a meditation, So they've just given me a crap ton of information. So during the conversation, I might say something like, I'd be happy to create a meditation for your patients if you would like, and I can just host it on YouTube for you and give you like a little card with a QR code that links to it, and they could just go through that meditation as they're here. Would that be helpful? And they're like, yeah, that would be helpful. That would be cool. So 2 things are accomplished. 1, I'm listening to their needs rather than being like, hey, I'm a therapist. Do you want to refer to me? Which always feels weird and doesn't result in referrals, usually. And 2, I have a reason to come back before another year or 6 months or however often you go to the dentist. So now when I come back with the card, I am front of mind. They just seen me twice in the same month or same 6 weeks, right? And I'm giving them this thing, and I'm giving them a limited number of them because I want to come back and be like, hey, how's it going with those? Are they helping? Are they working? Do you want more? Is there something else I could do that might be a little bit better? What's the feedback then? Now I have an excuse to come back again, and come back. You can do it on Zoom. It doesn't need to be local. So that kind of front of mindness and being of service is a great way to end up getting referrals for whatever it is that you need referrals for. And then the second piece is if you listen really well, sometimes they're telling you information that they are struggling with their staff in some way. And y'all know how to do workshops. You can be like, I can absolutely do a 30-minute workshop over one of your lunch breaks or your retreat or whatever to help your people know how to deal with folks who have anxiety, blah, 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 blah. So then you're demonstrating your skills. And not only are they going to refer their patients to you, but their staff is also going to remember like, hey, this person's a therapist. They were really cool. I liked them. They were easy to deal with. And they're going to want to see you or send their friends and family to you. So marketing doesn't have to be weird, doesn't have to be uncomfortable. And you can even, Rachel, go back to your doctor and say, hey, you know, I dropped off those cards, but I wonder if a little postcard that goes through like, these are the signs and symptoms of X. And here are some tips about what to do about it. And then we give a QR code. And I have more tips on my website or more tips on my directory listing. You can just send them there, it doesn't matter. So that they want to go to that next link. Does that feel helpful or like way too freaking much?
Helpful, but I think like, I still feel like I need to stop doing step by step and really focus on writing copy for the website to get that kind of up and running. Luckily, I don't have to figure out the tech. My friend's husband, who does this for a living, is going to do it. I just have to sit down and write the copy. And again, the copy feels like marketing. So then I feel like blah. So then I procrastinate and I go here, 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 squirrel, because that's what I do.
Would it be helpful to more than one of you for me to give you a very brief overview of what should be in your copy? Be helpful
Yes.
to Janet, maybe Rachel, but Lisa, would it be helpful to you?
So I went through
Amazing.
Confident Copy. My copy is already written. So I just wanted to, I mean, I still, before we get out of here though, like at some point I want us to look at it because I'm attracting people who are kind of like adjacent. And I think some tweaks to my copy might be helpful. But what I wanted to offer to Rachel is like, you can get clients off of just Psychology Today. I did that for a really long time. I just got a website in October, been in private practice since 2019, and it has not stopped anything. So I don't
Same.
even know.
Thank
I
you
don't know.
for the encouragement. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone is even reading my website. I mean, it's beautiful and the words are amazing. I just don't know if they're reading it, but they are reading the Psychology Today.
Awesome. Well, maybe we can do two things at once. Do you want to drop a link to your website and we can go through your website, give you feedback, and also talk about what kind of copy belongs on the website? Anna Walker is like such a badass. Her websites are so beautiful. Her copywriting course is great. In my fantasy world, one day she and I are going to join forces and do something together. Like in my dream world, what will happen is she will give a discount to my marketing intensive folks or to step-by-steppers for her website templates. That's my dream. I have not shared this dream with her yet though. Okay. Oh, wow. That is so pretty. Okay, let's talk about multiple things going right here. Are you guys seeing the website? Yay? Yeah? Okay, good. All right, so you're gonna wanna watch this on the replay because we're just gonna walk through exactly what's right and if there's anything that we can tweak. So right here, upper right-hand corner, this is where the eye goes first on websites. It's gonna go bam, right corner. It's gonna bounce to the left, bounce to the right, bounce to the left. So we want the eye to be landing on something that's very important. So Bradlicia, I would change this to schedule your free consult because we want the call to action to be super duper clear. And contact, what are they contacting you for? So we want it to be as clear as possible. Everybody likes a free consult. Okay. I love individual relationship therapist. So super clear who you are, what you do, helping you learn to love your whole self and be loved in return. I mean, excellent, excellent, excellent. So when we're writing, I'm going to put this in the chat so that you're able to see. We are looking for, where the hell is my old chat button? We're looking for you to be able to communicate to them. Here it is. A few important things: that you understand their pain points, that you understand their hope points. It's helpful if you can talk them through in normal people language, what I call the bridge. How do you get them from one to the other? And that might be something as simple as learn to love your whole self so that you can be loved by others. It doesn't have to be fancy conceptual speak. And then the kind of, I think of it as your distilled message is, I help blank to blank, and that can be it. Or you can get fancy and say, so that they or you can blank, right? What's the point of that change? And then if you want to get really fancy, you can add even if or without blank. So that is the objection. I help highly anxious, perfectionistic, middle-aged women, so that's my who, to learn to love their whole selves. What is it I'm teaching them to do? So the who, the what, and then the why, so that you can be loved in return. I'm just making some shit up here using Bradleycia's words. And then, and I'm looking over here because y'all are over on that screen for me. If you know that there is an obstacle, you can add that in somewhere. It doesn't need to be on this top section, but somewhere. So if I'm that person, I might be afraid that if I loved my whole self, then nobody else would love me. Like the only way that I earn love is by loving up on others. So I might say, even if you're afraid that by learning to love yourself, you'll give up getting love from others, or even if you're afraid, this is better, even if you're afraid that others will resent you if you're paying some attention to yourself and not all of your attention to them, something like that, right? I tend to write way too much copy and then I have to shrink it. So if you guys know these things, that is your website copy. That's it. That's all that needs to be on there. And when I'm thinking through the pain points and hope points, I want it to be in the client's language. And then I give myself prompts like, okay, so what are their pain points related to feelings? They feel what? Blah, blah, blah. What are their pain points related to thoughts? What are the things they think about themselves, others, the world? What about behaviors or impulses? What about relationship patterns? And I do the pain points and the hope points for each one of those, okay? So there's your copy. Let's go back to this badass website. Now, so look how smart this is. So right here, this is probably a subheader. You'll have headers and subheaders on your website. Those headers and subheaders are what Google really crawls to see what your website is about. So we want them to include some keywords. Now, what can happen sometimes is we try to put so many keywords into those headers and subheaders that for the normal reader, it's no longer attractive. They're like, what the hell are we talking about here? This is not cute copy. So what Bradleycia did here, she put in great copy here for the reader. Like, this is really grabby copy. And then she put copy here that Google's gonna love. So relationship therapy is something that people are going to Google. They're gonna search, right? They're going to search online. They're gonna search for Black women. They're gonna search, and then this is a little tricky trick that we could add something to. Usually people are searching by city rather than state because they haven't been totally brought over to the dark side of online therapy yet. So they don't know like that I could look by state. So one thing that you can do, and you might have done this in the footer. So one thing you can do, yeah, you did because you're a badass. You can include cities in your footer because this is another area that they'll scroll, and you don't want to include more than like 4 max, which is exactly what you did here. And then you just add and all surrounding areas, right? So here's why this works. It works on 2 levels. I'm going to unshare for just a second. Back in the day, we could say like anxiety therapy, and there's not that many people writing about anxiety therapy. And so a client that writes that will find us. But that lasted about 2 seconds in the internet world before everybody was posting about anxiety therapy. And then Google said, well, you're gonna have to pay me to stand out from everybody else. So BetterHelp came in and those kind of companies, and they're paying so much money that we're never gonna compete on SEO for anxiety therapy because BetterHelp has won. They've got it. So then we have to like tighten our search criteria. So we can be anxiety therapy in Naples, Florida, and there are far fewer people searching for that. So we're more likely to rank. This is part of why we use cities. And then the other part is because that's how people search. So they're like, you know, anxiety therapy near me or anxiety therapy in Naples, Florida, something like that. So we're going to match better. Okay, going back to sharing. This website's freaking gorgeous. Okay. All right, book your free consult. Great. We never want to land anywhere on the website where there is not a call to action button. We want to make it super easy that the moment they decide, yes, this is for me, they can book that free consult. Some people will land here and they've seen all they need to see and they're ready to book. Okay. Beautiful. I wonder if this sounds like you. So now we're going into pain points. You're on an emotional roller coaster. Notice that, or at least it didn't say like, you know, you're emotionally dysregulated. Therapists speak. She said language her clients would use, emotional roller coaster in your relationship. One day everything is all good and the next day it's all bad. You feel alone, isolated, like you can't talk to anyone about what you're going through because you're embarrassed. And frankly, what's happening feels indescribable. You wish, I think that maybe should be a period, but I'm not great at grammar. You wish you could talk to your partner about it, but his mood is so unpredictable. You're not sure that it's safe. Are you trying to talk to me about my ex? What's happening here? I wonder if you find yourself confused most of the time. Like no matter what you do, it's never enough. There's always more or something different you could have done. You are speaking to old me. Or maybe he makes you feel responsible for everything bad that happens in the relationship or to him. Ever think that if you don't give him anything to be upset or frustrated about, oh my God, today could be one of those good days. This is amazing copy. You feel anxious and a bit out of control, but, and here she's teasing us, it's possible to feel more empowered and confident both in and out of your relationship, whatever you decide. So we're hinting at maybe you're going to want to leave. Right, beautiful, beautiful. I might want to highlight this because we're in pain point land and you've switched gears to hope point land, and most people are skimming. So they might miss this part. And we want to make sure that they're hearing, like, I'm going to take you from this to this. So I might bold it. Hi, I'm Radlicia. I believe Black women can have it all. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now we're in like a mini about me section, which is still going to be about them. It's always still about them. The success, the adventure, the love, and therapy that doesn't feel too therapist-y. Great. So she's differentiating herself from other therapists. Beautiful. I work with successful, achievement-driven Black women who are thriving in business, but not so much in their romantic relationship. I believe you deserve to be supported by someone who has been there and done that. Beautiful. And can create a safe space for you to speak freely, build confidence, learn to assert your boundaries, and get after the full life you deserve. So let me ask you a question, Radlicia. When you say you're finding people adjacent to the people that you want, what do you mean?
I mean, that mute button just escapes me every time. So it's like they see relationship and it's like any sort of relationship thing they're bringing to me. So it's not, I guess what I really want, my ideal client, not I guess, my ideal client was in a relationship. It was really toxic. She knew something was wrong, but like didn't have the language. She was just like, he's doing these things, he's saying these things. It's making me feel really bad. I feel, less confident. I don't feel like I can be with anyone else, all those things. And she's really like the issues that she had. That's my zone of genius, like women who are currently facing these things. And so I'm attracting a lot of, well, I just left, something, which that's not bad. Like I can still work with it. It's kind of the same things. I think I just want to be a little bit more in the trenches. And I don't know how to say that. Like I kind of want you in it, in order for us to work together. And I'm getting the folks who are like, I've already left, which kudos. Yes. So glad. I think I want more of those women. I kind of want to call those women out who were in it.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting because your copy reads to me as you're in it. It doesn't read to me as you're out of it. When the women come to you who are out of it, are they looking to not repeat the pattern? Or like, what's their purpose of coming in?
Yes, to heal and not repeat the pattern. They don't want to do another relationship like that. So again, what I'm saying is that's fine. It's just not as exciting to me as a woman, who's like in it. And I can kind of watch the progress of her kind of being like, you know what, you've been right for the past 6 months, like I'm out. Yeah. So,
okay. All right. Let me look here.
It may not be my copy. It really could be, we talked about the cultural thing. Like we just see each other and it's like, I'm going to call you. So it could be that too. Like, I'm just going to call you because you're a Black woman. I'm a Black woman. Like this makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing that I might add right under this section to kind of call in the right folks, or at least separate them. I might add right in between here 2 blocks and say, are you in the relationship? Have you left the relationship? And write copy specific to each group, just to kind of like see what happens if you pull them apart a little bit and then go into this next section. It's really kind of interesting because when I was reading this, I've been in that relationship. I'm not in it now, but I was like, ooh, I would sign up with you, so, and I'm out. So that's kind of interesting. That's really interesting. And it doesn't feel like you're heavy-handed in the copy either. So like heavy-handed in that, like, you're pathologizing. So the only way you can kind of connect is if you're already out. It doesn't feel like that's what's happening. Okay. I know we got more to cover, so I'm going to keep on rolling. So these are headers or subheaders, and these are Google words: relationship, codependency, self-esteem, right? And then these are linking probably to another page or a blog. Very good. Starting therapy should be easy. Geez Louise, Anna and I are like on the same freaking page. So this is a beautiful section because what we're doing when people begin therapy, they're often a little bit anxious. So if we can tell them like, this is what's going to happen, here's the step-by-step, it reduces their anxiety and reduces the friction with starting the process. So reach out, here's what's going to happen, let's work, here's what's going to happen in session. New you, who dis? My hope is that by the time you graduate from therapy, you'll look back and reflect on all the ways you've grown and changed to make the best possible choices, make best choices for you in your romantic life. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how confident you've become. Beautiful. I would like to see, so we go from this call to action, get to know me, and these calls to action are learn more. that means that I have 2 scrolls without a button that says schedule your free consult. So I want a schedule your free consult in here somewhere. Okay. And definitely here, 100% here. Then don't count yourself out. The best investment you can make is you. Let's do this. That's fine to have different language here. I definitely want a schedule your free consult button somewhere in this section. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And do you have your, okay, here we go. Your terms of services, all of that stuff is down here. It's just linked. So when you do your website, you do have to have this stupid legal crap. And I really like how you linked it below. Really, really nice. And look how beautiful. This is so freaking smart. In your footer, which repeats on every single page, I specialize in working with successful Black women who are thriving in business but struggling in their romantic relationships. They want to stop feeling anxious and out of control and begin to assert themselves and set boundaries confidently. So this is basically her like, who do I work with? What do I help them with? And it's on every single page because it's on the footer. Exceptional, really exceptional. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I will keep thinking about the question of adjacent. And if there's some things on the copy and if something occurs to me, we'll get back to you. When you guys, you should definitely save that page because it's basically like a model for how the page is supposed to look, how the copy is supposed to flow. Thoughts, questions?
Man, that's a gorgeous website. I'm gonna like, Bradleycia, I'm gonna like copy like kind of your layout and how you worded things. It's beautiful. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you. I mean, I didn't intend for this to be like the session, but like even going through it again with all of you, I'm like, oh, that's really good. Like I wrote it, but I'm like, that's really nice.
Yes.
And it's really helpful for me because like mine is going to be like, I know Anna Walker and the Fill Your Practice formula. I have that. I just, like I said, I much like you, Bradleycia, how you said in the beginning, I've signed up for all these kind of things and then I never have time to go through it. So I'm trying to budget out time so I can actually do these things. But I have one of hers, the Fill Your Practice formula that I'm going through. Unfortunately, I know they're building mine on WordSpace, WordPress versus Squarespace. So I can't necessarily use her templates, which is again why I'm not doing it and someone else is doing it. But it is helpful to look at that, have that kind of breakdown from Amber about what goes where, and then like just start writing my copy. So thank you for sharing that. I'm probably gonna be like, dude, how she has the legal down here at the bottom. I like that. We need to do this because he said, like, if you know of any websites that you kind of like, to give me an idea of how you want to format. So if you don't mind, Bradleycia, I might say like, hey, see how she does this and this? I like that. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can use my website. I also went through Therapist Site Toolbox and my website is a template. So
okay,
if you wanted to see the original template, it's the Jung template.
okay. And you said that was Therapist Site Toolbox was the name? Okay. Thank you so much.
I didn't even realize that they were selling templates. That's really good, really, really good to know. So you did your copy with Anna and then your website formatting through Therapist Site Toolbox.
Yeah, so I couldn't get in with Anna for website design. And so I had already learned about Therapist Site Toolbox through something else. And I was like, let me just see if they will take a template because I found a template I liked on their website. It's like, let me see if they'll take a template and make me a website. And Megan is over there and she did it for me. So
amazing, amazing. Love it. How much did it cost, if you don't mind me asking?
I know you say it doesn't take thousands of dollars, but it took me thousands of dollars. I caught a sale. I want to say it was $2,300. I want to say it was $2,300. Might have been $25, but I want to say $23.
Well, and my friend's husband, like, he kind of quoted me between 2,000 and 3,000. But the nice thing is, it's my friend's husband, and he knows I'm starting my business, and he is self-employed as well. And he's like, we can just piecemeal it. Give me some stuff, I do it, and I bill you for that. Give me some stuff, I do it, I bill you for that. And that way, I don't have to come up with like large sums of money all at once. So that's why
Yes.
I decided to go through him instead of do it myself, because I'm computer savvy to a point, but I get so easily frustrated when stuff doesn't work as it should. And it's just like, I don't want that stress. I got enough stress trying to do this.
Right.
Yeah. And WordPress, I started out on WordPress, and 'cause, you know, they just basically, there is no limit on what WordPress is capable of. It's an amazing, amazing site, but we also don't need to do all that fancy stuff. The thing that irritated the shit out of me about WordPress is it involves something called plugins. You use plugins to make it do fancy stuff, and they need regular updates. And so I'd be like, cool, my website's done. And then I get an email like, oh, you need to update this plugin. And it's not like it was hard to do, but I just felt like it's never finished. Like I'm always having to do some shit to this website. So get your friend to do that stuff on the website. All right, we got just a few minutes left. What other questions do you have? And we got Q&A coming up too, so you can also ask them in there. Oh, Rachel, your mic.
Darn, Mike, all the time. The good faith estimate, that only needs to go out to self-pay. Is that correct? Or does it need to go out to insurance?
It's supposed to just go out to self-pay. I think that in order to make your life so easy, I would just give it to every damn body. Like because we don't know that, you know, whatever's going to happen with reimbursement and insurance is always a little bit up in the air. I would just give it to everyone, so I didn't have to think about it. And if you have an EHR, you can just put it in the portal and you never have to give it to anybody. It's just there, they get it. You don't have to mess with it because everybody's at the same rate. Now, if you have people at different rates, like I did in the beginning, you're going to have like 14 different good faith estimates. But in general, I would just give it to everybody through the EHR if you have one, to not be messing around and not have to think about it.
All right, go ahead, Janet.
Sorry. So if you, I wanted to put my hopeful rate, the rate that I'm going to be going for with private pay clients on my good faith estimate. It's higher than what I'm currently charging my self-pay client. Is that okay if there's a disparity and they're paying lower right now? No.
No.
Okay.
Your good faith estimate needs to be the amount that you're charging that particular client. The way that, so it's kind of dumb the way that it's set up, because they want you to give them the good faith estimate very quickly. But how the hell are you supposed to project how long therapy is going to be if you haven't done a thorough assessment yet? Right. So, and sometimes that assessment takes many sessions, but you're already supposed to have given them the good faith estimate before they're paying for stuff. It doesn't make any kind of sense. So the way that I would do it if I were practicing right now is I see most of my clients for a year anyway. So I would probably say, you know, I can't project yet how long therapy is going to be, but let's assume we meet weekly for a year. Here's how much it would be. Remember that if you plan to increase your rates before that year, you need to make sure that you've covered that in your good faith estimate, because we're basically making them a promise. We're saying, hey, it's not going to be more money than this. That's how my head like wraps around it. Like it's basically a no surprise. Like, hey, there's not going to be a surprise here. I'm not going to come out and be like, and you owe me $14,000. You know, we're saying like, this is the max that it's going to be. So you're not surprised if we hit that rate. So I like to overestimate, you know, if it's possible, but it's going to be more.
Will you be providing a copy? Because I noticed there's not any in step-by-step of what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't want to give a copy to that I would rather you go to your professional ethics board, you know, like for
Okay.
example, I can put in American Psychological Association, good faith estimate, because they have a lot more money than I have to pay a lot more lawyers than I can afford to pay to get it just right. And I don't want to get it even a modicum wrong. So I would go to your like social work at good faith estimate and get it directly from them. Yeah, I would be sending out a new good faith estimate every time their fee changes. Yep. Yep. And having your informed consent and even in your good faith estimate, like typically fees go up at least once a year. You know, I would have that statement in there so that they're prepared for it. If you get down to like, what is the intention of this? It was never made for us. It was made for medical settings who were screwing people over. So, you know, if the idea here is we just don't want to surprise people with a big ass bill, then, and honestly, we shouldn't have to do this because it's already in our freaking informed consent. My informed consent says, this is my rate. We're going to start by meeting weekly. Eventually we'll move to every other week. You know, like I go through all of that in the informed consent. So no surprises here. I even have like, if we go to arbitration or mediation, like here's how much it will be, blah, 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 blah. There's no surprises. We've been doing this for decades. It's just medical settings haven't.
So I have a quick question for Janet and Brad Lisa, because
But
I
Alicia,
have Brad Licia, sorry. I haven't used an EHR yet, and I'm kind of signing up for the free trials with some of the major ones. Can I ask which ones you like or you use?
So I'm using Simple Practice, but that's only because that's what my supervisor used, and it was just easier to switch my clients over to my account.
Okay.
But maybe next year, like January, I might try Therapy Notes. I'm not
Okay.
sure though. But they're a little cheaper, but they might not be because they have like extra little
Cool.
hidden fees. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So I'm using Therapy Notes for exactly the same reason Brad Licia is using Simple Practice, because my supervisor used it, and so I just switched over, and I'm actually considering moving to Simple Practice because some of my colleagues are telling me how much more robust it is as far as writing notes and the templates, and also the way that it can kind of guide you and help you make decision trees, and Therapy Notes does not have that.
Okay, because like when I had my supervisor and whatever, I worked in community mental health, so they had their own, and it wasn't these EHRs. And then I worked for the government and they had their own, which wasn't these. So it's, trying to find one. But thank you for your input. It's good to know.
If I were looking to make a decision, these are the kind of the heavy hitters: Therapy Notes, Simple Practice, Theranos, because they're so big, they can keep prices a little bit lower than some others. I would look at price. I would look at, can you automatically schedule the free consult from your website? If they can't do that, screw them. You need to be able to have people schedule that free consult automatically. Big important thing. And the last is, when you leave, what happens with the notes and how easy is it? Because Theranos was like, it's gonna be so easy, it's gonna be so easy. That shit was not easy. It took a long time. I had to individually do a bunch of crap. So it was very annoying. I want it to be easy, like quickly give me those records, because I don't want to pay for them to keep them forever now.
No. And one of the things I'm looking for too is, like, in the portal, how many, like for like my initial intake and assessments, what paperwork is there, and can I customize it with like my logo, and like some have like only a few things that they can send out, or can I add stuff to it?
Yes. Yeah, if they don't have customizable forms also out. Yeah. All right,
Okay.
friends, I have to
Thank
hang
you,
up so I can
ladies.
go into Q&A. I'll see you in there. Bye.